What are you doing? Hey, you can't keep running. It doesn't fix this. It never did.
You're just taking the easy way out. Get rid of me so you can go back to your hassle-free life with your new girlfriend.
Would you give me more credit than that, Neve? I hate this as much as you.
Then shut up. Stop talking.
It will stop nightmares, okay? It'll stop you jumping at shadows. Isn't that what you want? This is the way you get your life back.
By sending me to military jail. After everything that we have been through, that's how it's going to end.
You came to me for help.
Well, guess what? This isn't it. When we were on base, you said that you would always be there for me. Do you remember that? Logan?
Yeah, I remember.
Then do what I am asking. Please, you can get me through this.
I want to help you, but I can't. Treating PTSD isn't my area.
You could do it, you just don't want to.
No, what I want is for you to be seen by experts. What I want is for you to be able to stop running. Neve, what?
Hello, this is Coastal News, an unofficial home and away podcast where we unpack the latest week's episodes and discuss the residents, their lives, and the drama from our favourite fictional town, Summer Bay. How are you? How's your week been, Soph?
Hello, yeah, not too bad. How are you?
I'm alright, thank you. It's been a shit week, let's face it. It's been a shitter. It's been a shit bag. Forget Ant and Dex, happiest minute of the week. We're doing happiest hour of the week.
Yes. Yeah.
Sit down, take a coffee, and listen to your favourite podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're back. New
Back
content
again.
because we can't milk how hilarious last week's episode was any longer.
Oh no. If you haven't caught last week's episode and you need cheering up, then it's worth listening to, I think.
It works.
It's cheered me up a few times this week when I've been at work.
It definitely works, yeah. And, it's been another busy week in the Bay as well. You know, I've been going through my notes that I've been making this week because I scribe random words down as I'm watching the show. And then have to watch the show again the next day because I was writing words down rather than watching the show.
Yeah.
So, devotion, guys, devotion. But there's lots. We've gone the other week. You and I sort of were commenting about how block storytelling's normal, but although we're back to that, there's still quite a lot going on at the same time simultaneously.
Yeah.
So I've sort of struggled to pick sort of two or three main themes. There's that much going on, so we've got a lot to jam into this podcast. So I hope you're ready.
I am. Yeah. Let's get cracking. Yeah.
Just get on with it. Stop talking, Simon. Right. So your headlines before we get into it. Are you ready?
Yep.
Your coastal news headlines. Tane returns with Neek from the idyllic lake. Dean jailbreaks Karen's phone.
Oh, hacker.
Mm-hmm. I just nearly did a phone jacker impression then.
I know which one you were going to do.
You know when you refrain yourself?
Yeah. Don't do it. Don't do it.
Just in time. Ryder panicking.
Oh, yeah.
Theo prepares for court.
Yep.
Max ultimatums cause a stir. And Cash and Jazz return from their dirty weekend. So, the much covered in last week's episode, Neek and Tane going back to their roots, grounding themselves in their heritage with the stick thing. So Neek seems to get the grasp in the end, didn't he? On Monday's episode, gets the grasp of it, and all is well. I mean, Tane's a new man.
Yeah, well, they both are, aren't they? They come back with like a renewed vigor. So obviously, Neek was having all the strops last week, stroppy Neek, about not being able to get the routine right or the ritual right, and then all of a sudden he's got it, and we saw them, do it on the beach. It was pretty cool actually. Like, and then he gave him his. I'm gonna laugh.
How are we not? How are we not over this yet?
You know what I'm gonna say? Gave him his dad's precious, artifact. I can't call it what I want to call it because it just makes me laugh. I don't know why that word's so funny. It just is. And then I think Nick says something like, "Well, what do we do now?" And then Antani goes, "Right, we go home."
He says, like, we'll go home and we deal with what's coming.
Yeah.
Which I thought, oh, ominous.
But they come back and they're like new people, aren't they? They're like, they've obviously bonded while they were away, and Neeks keeps saying, "Thank you for taking me away. I didn't know how much I needed to get away from everything here." And Tane's just grinning from ear to ear, and they both seem like, by contrast, Mia and Chloe are falling apart, aren't they? But Neek and Tane, they seem to have got a lot closer. This has made them a lot closer, I think, and their relationship has been sort of solidified by.
Yeah, it's funny you mention that. There's a real oxymoron going on. There's a real difference in the experience because this break happened as a result of Mia and Tane saying, "Look, you take Neek one way, I'll take Chloe the other way, and let's try and just get through this as best we can," wasn't it? And obviously, like you say, Tane and Neek have come back all refreshed, and new people. And meanwhile, it's probably all just unravelled a bit between Mia and Chloe. They had the whole diary issue, and all that went on. And they've not really mended anything between themselves.
No.
What did I commented on the Twitter whilst I was episode watching along during the week, and the get back, Tane looks like he's had a fortnight in Tenerife or something. Like,
He does, yeah.
he's had some right R&R, and he sort of turns around to Nick and goes, go and hang out with Bella,
Yes, yeah.
And up to this point, it's been all rules and regs regarding that.
Yeah, he's really chilled out, hasn't he? Because he was like, we're not seeing our girlfriends, we're keeping it in the family and all this stuff. Even after we find out that Bella knows the secret, he still is keeping her at arm's length and, you can't see her and all this stuff. And then he's changed his mind, hasn't he? But he bumps into Flick, doesn't he? When he returns. And they say something like, he says something like, "I've really missed you." And she goes, "I've missed you too." So I think it's maybe his time away has made him realise what his feelings are for Flick. I don't know.
Yeah. And I was going to say, I thought he only allowed Nick to go and see Bella because he wanted to go straight to Flick and get his end away.
But he was doing that before they went away, wasn't he? Because he was knocking on the caravan door the other week.
Yeah.
So
I just thought it was a bit.
Yeah.
Is this like, well, I want it, so I'll allow you? Like, is he pulling the strings, or am I just reading too much into it, do you think?
I don't know. I think I read it as, now they've had a couple of days away. Do you think, I don't know, maybe I'm overthinking it, but I thought maybe Tane realised how much Flick actually does mean to him and how much he missed her. And then maybe he's gone, well, if I feel like this about her, obviously Bella and Nick have been together a long time and been through a lot more together, haven't they? And Bella knows the secret already, so maybe he's just
I was about to say, yeah, Bella knows. Yeah.
Don't know. It could be either, couldn't it? It could be that he is just going, well, I can't be a hypocrite, so I'm going to have to let him see Bella.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I think he would. He can't rightly say you can't, but I can.
No.
And as you say, it didn't really go too well with Mia and Chloe on the other side. And Mia decides to seize an opportunity via Bella.
Yes.
Of all people.
I know. Well, I guess because Bella's the only one that does know, and she's another female that she I don't know. Because Mia, Tane's been asking, hasn't he? A couple of times he said, what's going on with Chloe? How's Chloe? And Mia's just not told him the truth, has she? She's been a bit like, oh, I'm a bit worried about her, and I think the guilt's eating her up and all this sort of stuff. But she's not said we're not okay, actually. And she's wrote all this stuff in a diary about, how I, she's ruined my future, and she feels like everything's her fault. And so Tane doesn't know the full picture of it all, does he? First of all. And then the only person that actually the only person that does know the full picture is Bella, because Bella knows about the secret, but also Bella's seen Chloe have the meltdowns and seen Chloe, blaming herself and going on a guilt trip and all that sort of stuff. So she is the only person that Mia can get to talk to Chloe, isn't she? Really?
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. And you see that dawn on Mia's face.
Yeah.
Wide eye.
Yeah.
Insult.
Yeah.
Oh, ping.
Yeah.
Light bulb moment. I'll go and speak to Bella. I didn't think Bella would go for it. I thought she might have just told her to
No.
stuff it
Yeah.
because in her own words, she said, I'm not actually friends with Chloe. And
No.
I was thinking about this and thinking, then why are you covering up this massive secret? You know what damage these kind of secrets do to
But she's not
families.
doing it for Chloe, is she? She's doing it for Nick.
Yeah,
We know
that's
how
true.
much Nick cares about Chloe. They're basically brother and sister, aren't they? Like, they've been
Yeah,
brought up very
that's true.
close.
Yeah.
So I don't think she's doing it for Chloe necessarily. I think she's doing it for Nick. And also, I don't know, she's got a lot of experience with this kind of thing, hasn't she, Bella, really, with covering up murders. So I guess she
Well,
can
yeah, it
she can
seems to be
empathize. Yeah.
it seems to be the going thing.
Yeah.
I saw something online on one of the forums in the week, someone saying, "Oh, Bella's got a big mouth on her. She's a bit of a brat. She can't keep a secret." I'm like, I think Bella's proven she can keep a secret, actually.
Yeah.
As much as it ate her alive, that whole
Yeah.
thing with her dad and Colby and whatnot, she, of all people, you can count on her. I just fit. There's this sort of there were scenes between Bella and Chloe where Chloe's obviously confiding in Bella, and Bella's her outlet, isn't she?
Yeah.
And it's a bit like them two are sort of arch nemesis.
Yeah.
Like a bit of a strange turn of events, really.
Yeah,
between
definitely.
those two.
Yeah.
So, and then Mia's got Bella on the case. Bella's having a chat with Chloe, getting it all off her chest, and Mia's ploughing on with wedding and
God.
happy families. And there's
Yeah.
a big family dinner called.
I know, another one. Oh, we've only just had the last one, haven't we? At least
I know.
This one's not as awkward. This is actually quite happy dinner, isn't it? In the
Yeah,
end.
and there's an extra guest.
There
little old
is.
Flick.
Oh, bless her.
And she's looking at them all, and she's thinking, that was what you're thinking. She's going through her mind. That's something she never had.
Yeah, definitely.
Her and Cash never had that, and
yeah,
and she say something like, "Oh, your family's so loud."
Yeah.
And he was like, "Oh, I'm sorry, is it too loud?" And she's like, "No, it's perfect." It's
Yeah.
all that gushy stuff.
Yeah.
So I mean, when we were reading the synopsis, we were surmising because I think it said something like, Bella Flicks, is brought into the family, and we were thinking, but she's at arm's length still because everybody else knows.
I know, and that's
she's
what I was
the only
waiting
one.
For.
Yeah,
I wondered whether anybody would let their guard down. Do you know what we're just saying about Bella having a big mouth? And she does, and sometimes she just doesn't think. And she doesn't mean to put her foot in it, but she does. And I was wondering whether Bella might say something like, "Oh, well, you killed your dad in front of Flick."
Yeah. And do you know what,
did.
though? Especially with all this red wine that we're going about this week.
I know.
I mean, everyone had a bottle of it.
Yeah.
But I would have done that because everybody knew, apart from one person, that would be me with my, foot in it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Luckily my family don't tell me no secrets because I'm useless. So I was surprised. I was thinking to myself, is this something that's going to happen? And obviously we then left those for the rest of the week. So
yeah, that was it. Yeah.
I feel like we're either going down a route where there's going to be problems between Felicity and Tony.
Yeah.
Tonicity. Because she's going to know he's only letting me in so far. I'm only getting so much from him. Yeah. And I want you all. I want, all or nothing. She's an all or nothing type of girl. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And or she comes into the secret and then she's got to choose between brother and lover.
I know. And
what's it gonna be?
And if we're talking about Bella being unpredictable and with a big mouth, then we've also got the same problem with Flick. I mean, the thing with Bella is, you're right, she can keep a secret, but if Nick Neek, even if Neek goes and cheats on her again, is she going to throw this all back in his face and then back in Chloe's
Oh,
face?
hang on a minute, love. Neek's cheating on her again.
No, but if he does, I mean, in the future.
Is that him now? He's got his spots.
Yeah.
We don't trusted him.
Oh, I don't know. I once a cheater, always a cheater. I don't know. It could happen again. I mean, it's Summer Bay. The storylines are never happy ever afters,
No.
are they? They're always.
First initial thoughts here, Sophie. So, what's going to happen with this? We've got this massive secret. Obviously, it's Home and Away.
Yeah.
It's a soap opera. Secrets must come out, and bad people must get their comeuppance. So, how, based on current events, what's your theory? You've not read any spoilers or anything, no?
I haven't. No, I haven't. But I was just thinking that bad people get their comeuppance. Wasn't Matthew the bad person, really?
Oh, she's off again.
Isn't that?
Oh.
Yeah. I don't know. Oh, I mean, I don't want Iris to go to jail.
Murdering someone doesn't make you a good person, does it?
No, it doesn't. I know, but I'm just glad he's dead. I don't care.
Do you know, he was only killed 2 weeks ago. I've forgotten all about him.
Well, I got taught a new Aussie slang, and I just keep thinking of it when I think of Matthew now, because I was talking to somebody at work who lives in Australia about all the the little sayings like blind Freddy and all that sort of stuff, and she said, oh, there's one where you can say he's like a rat with a gold tooth, and that means like somebody's really flashy but they're not really. And I was thinking, that's Matthew, isn't it? That's my new. Every time I think of him, I think, oh, rat with a gold tooth.
After rapist.
Yeah. Rapist kidney. Yeah. I know what you mean. I know rationally in the real world, I wouldn't be cool with Chloe getting away with it, but it's a soap and I do kind of want her to. So I don't want the secret to come out, I'll be honest.
I think she's going to get off,
Yeah.
I think Army's gone.
Yeah. I think so.
We know. We've mentioned this on a previous episode. Regular listeners will know. We know the actor's leaving.
We just don't really know how they're going to wrap it up. Yeah.
Just a quick reminder that you can get your latest instalment of Coastal News, an unofficial Home and Away podcast, on all your podcast apps. Your Spotify, your Apple Podcasts, your Amazon, your Google, and much, much more. Just search Coastal News or Home and Away on your podcast app. Do also take an opportunity to like, rate, and review where possible. It helps support us along the way. And we're not just a podcast. We also tweet along to Home and Away as it airs on Channel 5 and 5 Star here in the UK. Find us on Twitter and Instagram at Coastal News Pod. Thank you.
Now, speaking of things that are not wrapped up, I don't know, that was a really crap segue. Dean, Dean, the whole Dean and Karen thing. Karen's back in town. Spoke a lot about Karen in last week's, and I love for Karen.
Yeah.
Not manager Karen.
No.
And Dean's sort of opened up his heart. He's let Karen in. She's met Jai. Yeah, Jurassic Park. On the beach. That video. We're going to need to share that with our listeners.
I'm laughing now. Yeah, that was just a little insight into my brain. Oh, my brain is a scary place to live sometimes. But
so she's staying with him at the farm, isn't she? With Ziggy and Dean.
Yeah,
Dino. She's calling him Dino. I love how she's calling him Dino. Just love it.
I know.
And he goes on her phone, guesses her password.
Yeah. Well, if she's anything like my dad has the same 4 digits for everything: the alarm, his PIN number, his phone. I can hack everything of my dad's. So, if she's anything like that, it's probably the same thing.
To be fair, that'll probably happen to me because I'm like that. We're all a bit like that, aren't we?
I've got different numbers, but
How do you
yeah.
remember him?
I don't know. I just do. Yeah.
Well, he guesses it. He gets in it, and he summons Brett. Now,
Yes.
he wasn't
He
a
wasn't
lumberjack.
anything like we thought. No.
He wasn't a biker, and he
No.
wasn't an IT technician. What?
No. I don't
He was
actually know
just.
what he did for a living, but he looked very nice. Actually, I quite liked him. He was very
I hope.
not fancy him, but I thought he was a nice. He looked like a nice guy. He looked like I don't know.
Something's gone wrong, hasn't it, between the two of them? He came across to me. He was summoned to the bay because obviously he thought Karen had texted him.
Yeah.
Although he didn't seem quite, confused enough that he seemed to know that it was Dean. That was a bit of a strange scene.
Dean phoned him. That's what happened. So when Dean,
did I miss that?
Yeah. So Dean had been nagging Karen, hadn't she, and saying, "What? Tell us about Brett. Tell us why you don't want to marry him." And she storms out the house and leaves her phone behind. He unlocks the phone, but we find out that he actually phoned him. He didn't text him.
Ah, right.
So he phoned him. I think he just got the phone number off Karen's phone because he said something like, "Dean called me," or I can't remember how he phrased it now, but it sounds like they had a phone call. And Dean had, that was it. No, Dean had told Karen because he said, when I called him, he sounded so relieved that he knew that you were okay. And he said, he's obviously a nice guy, Mum, and he really cares about you because that's all he wanted to know was, were you okay and where were you? Yeah, that was it. Sorry, my brain. It's Monday now, so it's ages ago. But
no, I'm glad because I missed that completely.
Ah.
So he turns up. She's not having a bar of it. And
well, what does she do to try and throw him off?
I can't even say it. I can't even say it. You're gonna have to say it.
Well, she gives John a big old smackaroo kiss, doesn't she?
Yeah, Christmas has come well early for old Johnny boy.
I don't think John really looked like he was into it, though, did he?
Not really. Not really.
Oh God, poor John.
And Brett knows, doesn't he? He's like, yeah, what a load of rubbish. Message me when you're ready.
He's like, yeah. You're just scared of commitment, so just call me when you're ready.
Which demonstrates to us, the audience, that he knows he's been into handling Karen for some time.
Yeah.
This is typical Karen. What's happening here? What do we think it is? Why is Karen bolting? Is she just scared? Is she worried that she's going to let everybody down?
I think it's exactly what he said. Like, she's down on herself and she's too scared to commit to something because she's scared to mess it up, I think.
Simple as that. I
think so. Like, she was saying, not this week, but I think last week she was saying something to Dean, like, "Oh, Dino, I've never got married. I'm never going to get married. I've always said that." I think it's something that she's never really wanted, but maybe that's because maybe she thinks she doesn't deserve to have the happy ever after.
Yeah, you could be right. Because she was saying, wasn't she, the week, Jai doesn't deserve, I don't, I'll only let him down. I'll only let Brett down. I've let you down.
It's what you were saying last week about how she's so down on herself and she sees herself, even though she's not like that anymore, she still sees herself as how she used to be. Because everybody else still kind of sees her like that, don't they? Because Amber treats her that way and Amber's mum treats her that way. And she knows she's got this reputation, even though you know what it's like. You do something once or twice or whatever, and you get tarnished with that brush, and that's what people remember. They remember your mistakes, don't they? And it's really hard to come back from a mistake like that. And hers are pretty, not small, are they? Let's be honest. So I think she just sees herself, which is awful.
It's a real sad story, isn't it?
Yeah,
it's a real sad story.
As that, even though she knows that she's moved on and she knows that she's put all this work in. But she's deep down, she still sees herself as that person that messed up all the time and isn't a good mom and all of that sort of stuff. And she needs to shake that off, or else she is going to she's self-sabotage, isn't it? That's what she's going to do.
About to say that, self-sabotaging it, isn't she? She doesn't. I don't think she trusts herself.
No.
To not mess up.
Yeah, I think that's it.
Because she always has done before. Why would it be any different?
Yeah. And she doesn't want to break someone else's heart, does she? Because I think that's a lot of this is guilt over what she was saying last week about Dean and not being a mum to him and not not putting him first when she should have and not being there for him. And I think it's guilt. And I think she's worried about breaking someone else's heart or letting someone else down. I think it's that. I don't know. Maybe I'm reading too much into it.
I just think, I agree with you, and I think it's a really sad story. And I went to great lengths, I think, explaining why I love the complex character of Karen and why I think it works. And you're immediately invested in it, even though she's not even a permanent character. She's just amazing.
Yeah.
And she's everything you want from a soap character.
Yeah.
I think if it's just a case of she's got a bit of cold feet because of her past, Dean has a talking to her, and then she agrees to marry Brett and goes off and lives happily ever after. It'd be a bit of a disappointment.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
And I was reading something this week on Digital Spy. They did an article because obviously Karen was back, and they do quite a lot of home and away stuff. They're really, I think they're really supportive of the show actually.
Yeah.
And a lot of it, they'll tell you if it's a no spoiler, so before you read it, so that I'm not going to read this. And a lot of the stuff is like UK pace, so it stops you from ruining it, which I really love about Digital Spy. So thank you. And they did an article this week about Karen's return. I think they even spoke to Patrick O'Connor. And
that's cool.
Where was I going with this now? Why does this keep happening to me now, Sophie?
It's age. Wait till you get to my age.
Oh, I've noticed on the last few episodes, I just stop mid-sentence, and that's me.
I do this. I go upstairs, and I'm like, "What did I go up here for?" And I just stand at the top of the stairs, going,
Do you ever flip the TV channel over on the ad break and then forget what you were watching? Because I've started doing that.
Yeah, all the time.
Oh my days. It's a Digital Spy. And they were saying about Karen's return and Dean.
Yeah.
But I can't remember what they were saying now. Why has it gone? We'll come back to that.
Okay.
I
think it is the whole. I mean, I think even Dean said something like, "Don't you think you deserve to be happy?" to her.
Yes.
I think it's that. I think it's that she doesn't think she does deserve to be happy. She's still.
Oh, I've remembered the article.
Oh, go for it.
I'm going to say it really quick, and then you can carry on with your thought before it wipes my mind. She was supposed to come back like 2 years ago, but the pandemic lockdown business meant she was stuck in another state.
I did wonder why she didn't know, like, Dean had been in an accident and all of that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
I did think it was weird.
Yeah, and the whole I've discovered I've got a son.
Yeah.
That was when she was supposed to be back.
So that explains why he's kept it all a secret from her, because she couldn't be on the show. And it would be weird if she wasn't, you know what I mean? Because that accident put him out of the running for loads of stuff for ages, didn't it?
A kangaroo nearly kills your son. You need to know about that stuff.
CGI kangaroo. Important.
I'll take that with me. Oh, I can't tell you the amount of... Were we talking then? I don't think we were.
No.
I can't tell you. Yeah, because that was the season finale, wasn't it, for us?
Yeah, that was last year, yeah.
Yeah. So I was doing the podcast.
Year before,
yeah, no, it was only 2021.
It wasn't it end of 2020, or was it beginning of 2021?
It weren't that long ago. It was only like November.
What, the kangaroo thing? Are you sure? I thought it was last January.
It weren't that long ago.
Wasn't it?
No, Mia was in the car.
Yeah, Nick. I remember all that. I thought that was last year.
No.
Oh my God, this year has gone so slow. Oh my God.
No, because I was doing the podcast. In fact, I'll tell you now which episode it was, but you weren't on the podcast yet. I was just talking to cyberspace.
Oh my God, I thought that was like last year.
Let me tell you what
I've lost like an entire year of my life now, because I don't know what happened in the last.
We all have. The whole world has.
Oh my God, time is so weird now. I honestly thought it was this time last year when all of that was going on.
No, that all happened. That was like our season cliffhanger.
Yeah.
Literal cliffhanger.
And then we have our break, don't we?
Mm-hmm.
Gosh.
Right, Alf and Rue, they're still not getting on, right? And now last week I was whinging about it being 3 weeks down the line, and we're still no further.
Yeah.
And I'm really tired. I'm
Yeah.
really, really tired. And me and you, we love our Alf, we love our
I
Rue.
love Grandad Alf.
Ryder.
Yeah.
Why
yeah.
are we not loving this? Why are we not loving
Because
this?
they're not getting on, are they? We don't like it when they fall out. We don't like it when everyone's shouting at each other. And Ryder obviously doesn't like it because he packs his bags and buggers off to a van. So
It could have gone a bit further. That's like, when you're a kid and you're like, I'm leaving home.
And you go to the end of the road.
Yeah. You make it to the drive before you've decided it's a bad idea.
Yeah. And all you've packed is a toy. And you're like, I can't eat this.
Got a skateboard under one arm and your pillow under the other. You're like, I'm an independent woman. Yeah, it wasn't good move, was it? But do you know what? I can understand Ryder. He's getting an headache. We're all getting a bloody headache.
Well, I've had a gut full, to quote Alf.
And I think it takes because Ryder tried telling him, look, you're going to regret all this arguing, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
Still not listening. I think it's going to take Ryder to say, sod ya, to sort it out. This is what I was thinking at the time, that, okay, they might think, blimey. Rue rightly says to Alf, he clearly wants a space from us. Leave him be.
Yeah.
Leave him be. And then he's at work, the poor mate, and he's in that storeroom and gets stuck in and has a bit of an episode.
Has a panic attack, doesn't he? And that scene was really good, actually. I liked the way they filmed that, because they were showing him sort of banging on the door and then showing him banging on the roof of the box of the coffin.
Yeah,
and that was actually pretty well done, I thought.
The claustrophobia type thing really worked, didn't it?
Yeah.
And the incidental music helped. It makes you feel things.
Yes, definitely. Yeah, I thought that was a really good scene, actually. I didn't laugh at that scene. I thought that was good.
Home and Away always does stuff like that really well compared to other soaps.
Yeah.
And I think because they use a lot of incidental music, they can play on it and they can use that to their advantage. But sort of that the quick edit back and forth between the flashback to you were well with Ryder there. You completely, okay, they're spelling it out to us, black and white. Okay, we're supposed to, Ryder's telling us what Ryder's feeling. It's like he's back in, he's stuck in his confined space again, It's his trauma from that whole event playing out. So it's a very obvious way of telling us, but it's a very dramatic way, and we lap it up, don't we?
Yeah, definitely.
Lap it up. And of all people, Justin's there after his pizza.
I know.
Because they've all got washboard abs, but they only eat pizza.
I know, it's not fair. They've all got beautiful skin, and they're all tanned and lovely, and they live off his pizza from the diner or something. Yeah. Leah's cooking. All of Leah's cooking.
Oh yeah, pizza and moussaka, very fattening.
And Irene's burgers.
So
friendly. Must feel that running down the beach.
I know. When I try that diet,
I know. Can't leave my house. I have to get a forklift to come and get me.
So for yesterday, I went for lunch with a friend, and we went to this. Sorry, tangent. And we went to we had tapas and things in this produce hall.
Oh yeah,
one of these trendy.
Yeah, I know. What
places at £7 for a meatball, and then I said, let's go and get some. Let's go and get some pudding. So we went to this nowadays everything, there's a dessert restaurant popping up everywhere, isn't there? So we went to one of them. Oh, you want to see this waffle that I had?
Oh, I do want to see the waffle that you have. Have you got a photo of it?
Yeah, I'll send it you later. Banoffee.
Oh,
Banoffee waffle with ice cream. It was huge. Honestly, I've not eaten since. That was 2:00 yesterday. I had a food coma snooze on the bus home. I bet people thought I was day drinking.
You're like, it's
on the
banana.
bus.
It's just banana and a bit of waffle. And they're like, yeah, all
No,
right,
I haven't been to the
crazy.
red light district. Banana and waffle.
Oh, you like?
It was so good. Why did I start talking about my dessert?
We were talking about how
bad
much
food.
they eat
Yeah.
pizza
And
from
let me
Salt.
tell you,
Yeah.
I do not look like Tane.
No, I don't think many people look like Tani, let's be honest.
No, but he's got a worse diet than me.
He has. He has.
You know, sometimes I sit there moving my spinach around my plate thinking I could just have a pizza at Salt and I'd look amazing.
Maybe that's the key. Maybe I should eat more pizza and then I'd have like guns like Chuck Norris.
Oh dear. And so Justin, Saviour Justin, takes him home.
Oh,
And
I love
you just
Justin.
think, I know, but you're just thinking, oh God, Rue's like, don't worry, Alf's not in.
Oh, that made me laugh. He was like, it's okay, he's not here. Come in. And the relief, like, oh, thank God for that. But he does come home, doesn't he? He comes home halfway through them talking about what happened in the storeroom.
What the blimey else are you doing here? Yeah.
Oh man, Alf, like a thunderstorm.
Yeah, Ryder's had enough, hasn't he? But
yeah, I don't blame him, poor guy. He's gone through like such an ordeal,
and he's chiming in, isn't he?
Yeah.
Like, I am here, you know.
Alf, I think Justin says something like, "I wanted to make sure Ryder got home okay." And Alf doesn't even hear that, does he? Because you'd think, oh, why? What happened? Are you okay? What, he doesn't even register the fact that there's something wrong with Ryder. He's just so focused on Justin being in the house and him having to leave and all this stuff. And then eventually Ryder says, oh, by the way, I'm okay. And Alf says something like, oh, I was about to ask you, actually. And I think this is part of the storyline of Alf coming to a realization that actually his focus is on all the wrong things and he has been not focused on Ryder. And I think that was one of the little hints, wasn't it, that the first thing he thought of was
coming round.
Justin, get out my house. He didn't ask what happens to Ryder. Why did you have to bring him home? Is he okay? That was like the second thought. And he admits that to Rue, doesn't he, eventually, where he says, when your mum was in the city and I was with her, I didn't even give Ryder a second thought, didn't even think about him because I was so focused on Martha. And that's when he starts to realise, actually, I have got my priorities wrong and my focus has been on the wrong things. And so I think that was a key moment for him to start to realise.
Yeah, I agree. I think that was I think he started to realise he's perhaps been focusing on the wrong things.
Yeah.
But I disagree. I don't think that was the key moment. I think the key moment came when Theo went ballistic at him.
Yeah.
He'd been to court, hadn't he?
Yeah.
He'd got community service. And I mean,
lucky he got off with that, really.
I don't know, but he drove the Polaris like 30 meters. I mean,
he drove it all around the caravan park.
Let's just go with it.
And then
Jenny Aniston.
I think the worst thing about what he did was he didn't bring it back and he just abandoned it the minute it ran out of gas or whatever. So
bit of a dick. He didn't really push it to and I just think, okay, he's had a better investigation into that than Matthew's death.
Oh, I know.
And he goes to the diner right after the court case, and Al still comments, just like, well, if you don't want to do the time, don't do the crime, And Theo just goes, do you know what?
Yeah.
Don't take it out on me because you weren't there for your grandchild. I think that's the key moment. I think what you've just said is the groundwork was starting, wasn't it? You knew where this was going. Like, finally, this is over. Yeah. And I think I posted a GIF like, hallelujah.
Praise the Lord. Praise the
Lord. But that was the moment where he has the epiphany, I think was the word I used.
Yeah.
Where, and it results in an apology.
It does.
I didn't see that coming.
The rare Mr. Stewart apology. Wow. When he's wrong, he says he's wrong, to be honest, but he does take a long time to get there.
Yeah. Alphanet, He's just doing it the
Yeah.
Alf way. And I
Yeah.
think he acts before he thinks. He
Yeah.
speaks before he thinks. You know, he just jumps in to speak for. And he's always been like that. And I think
Yes.
I think he's
he's
had
more
bad.
chilled now, don't you?
I do. I do. Yeah. I think he's had a bit of bad stick from people on,
Yeah.
you know, from the audience. A lot of people I speak to watch you think, oh, he's being a prick. Why don't he just die? And like,
Oh!
honestly, I was chatting to someone who said that, and
Oh!
a lot of things I read online on forums and stuff because I'm always on it. People saying he's annoying, he's really doing the red, and I'm thinking he's getting all the flack here, and
Mm,
actually strip all the crap away. He's
yeah.
an old man.
Yeah.
He's got a wife dying. I've said this before. He's got a
Yeah.
grandson who's,
Traumatized.
led astray by those idiots.
Yeah.
Like he's just responding like I think anybody would,
Yeah.
and ultimately, in the eyes of the law, he's correct, isn't he?
Yes. Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, would you or I report that to the police? No.
No.
But he's just being a grumpy old man.
He
How many
is.
times do
Yeah.
you have an argument with a grumpy neighbour who's an old man because your football's gone in his garden or something?
Exactly.
You're like,
Yeah.
you know.
And I don't even think. I mean, maybe the people that are sort of, a bit dissing him. Maybe they don't remember what he used to be like. I mean, Alf back in the day. My God, he used to be so angry all the
I
time.
know. I
Like,
know.
he's chilled out so much in the last, I don't know how long, maybe last 5-10 years. And now he's more of a cuddly granddaddy type character. And occasionally he will kick off and he will fly off the handle and call everyone a galah and all that stuff. But he used to absolutely rage at people. Do you remember when he used to own?
Yeah.
He had the diner and he also had the store, didn't he? The general store.
Yeah, veins would be coming out of his head.
Yeah. He used to absolutely rage at Elsa, his wife, as well. Like, literally just scream in her face and call her stupid and all sorts. He was so angry. But I still loved him back then. Because he was just... It was so OTT. It was almost cartoon-like, if you know what I mean. Like,
Yeah.
like Homer Simpson when he's screaming at his kids. It was almost like
Yeah.
that.
You know what you get from him.
Yeah.
And he gives us that gratification.
Yeah.
He's one of those characters that he gives us what we need. He gives us a
Yeah.
good flaming and a galah and a
Yeah.
and a mongrel. And that's what we need him there for.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's the elder that
Yes.
kicks off about shite,
Yeah.
So I feel like he's had a bit of a bad rep. His apology was genuine.
Yeah. He was.
I thought that was big of you, dude.
Yeah.
That was
That
big
took
of you
a
to
lot.
do that. Yeah.
That took a
But
lot
I
for him
didn't.
to do
Then
that.
did you see Did you see tonight's 5-star?
Yeah, I did when he went in the diner.
Yeah, and I
Yeah.
thought, oh, maybe it was all false because he was a bit like, I don't want to sit with you, then Theo. He bumped into Theo in the diner, didn't he?
I don't think they're ever going to be best mates, are they? Though I don't think they're ever going to be. I think they shook hands and it's forgive and forget now. But I don't think we're mates.
Yeah. Do you know what is bugging me though? Is that because even if Alf would have dropped whatever his complaint, the conviction still would have gone through because he did it.
Oh,
do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
so
it was on camera.
Yeah. And so, but that moment when they come outside and he's fiddling with a motor again, and and he says, "I'm going off to my community service," and he says, "Is that today?" And Justin sort of says, "Do you want to hang out?" In a nutshell, I'll help you. And I thought, because Justin and Alf have always had a good relationship,
Yeah, because he's basically like Leah's surrogate dad or surrogate granddad, isn't he? So he's
Yeah.
kind of. I think he even said that to Leo. Leo, who's Leo? Theo the other week. I think Justin said, when I first started dating Leah, Alf gave me the talk, and
Do you know? I do wonder.
Yeah.
I do wonder how this all would have played out if Leah was around.
Oh, I think it.
Do you reckon it would have been a lot different?
I think it would have been worse, wouldn't it?
Do you reckon?
Yeah.
Can you imagine
because
him like this with Theo, and then her having to have these conversations with Alf?
Well, yeah, because I think Leah is quite hot-tempered herself, and I think that probably would have been worse. Justin has Theo's back, and he does yell, but he doesn't really get aggressive and doesn't really get aggro and all that stuff. He has got a kind of calming look. Let's talk about this and let's be reasonable kind of way of approaching things. Where I think Leah would just throw plates at him and go mental, wouldn't she?
Yeah, I
She
think
would.
I
She'd be in
think
the
we've
diner
been.
just chucking stuff at him. How dare
I
you get out of
think
my diner?
yeah, I think we've been starved of that. That would have
Yeah.
been. Can you imagine Leah and Alf screaming at each other? They would have been gold.
I've seen
Them
that in the
scenes.
past. I've seen them screaming at each other years ago, I'm sure, but I think it would have gone on a lot longer if it was.
It makes you. I think that this whole storyline has been missing Leah.
Yeah.
I think, and I think and I think to a degree, like we're missing Marilyn as well. I think there's a few of
Yeah.
those key ones that we're sort of thinking, oh, I miss those.
Yeah.
They've been away a few weeks now.
Yeah.
How and I have found myself thinking, how would this have played out if they were around?
Yeah.
Definitely food for thought, isn't it?
Yeah.
Definitely. Now, Mac, she's dishing out the ultimatums, Sophie.
Oh, she really
Dishing them
is.
out.
Yeah.
So the first one, it's not happening under my roof.
Yeah.
If you're going to help her, it's not here.
Yeah.
Second one, what was the second one?
I'm calling the defence, whatever they were. What was
Oh,
it?
yeah.
Australian Defence
You
Force.
need to call her in or it's over.
Yeah. Ooh.
Do you know, right, before I tell you where I'm standing, where are you sitting with this?
I'd have called them myself if I could.
No, have you had a quick look at Twitter and things what everyone's been saying?
No,
I haven't seen one good thing about this Neve gal.
No, I'm not feeling her at all. Really not.
No.
Really not feeling her. Just want her to go away.
And I'm not feeling Logan either, the little snake.
No, I've really gone off him this week. Well,
Yeah.
Is it this week? I think it is. Yeah. God, all the days are blurred into one. But yeah, I've really gone off him. Both of them. I'm just like, why don't you just both bugger off now?
He's let himself down big time.
Yeah.
He was cheeky chappy, had a good job. Me and you were talking on just a few episodes back. We really liked him. He was a breath of fresh air, dead sexy, cheeky. Him and Mac have got something good going on. It's dead flirty, blah 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 blah. This is all going on, and you're just thinking you're an absolute
piece of
you were
work.
saying you were saying last week, I don't really think he knows what to do with his feelings about her. It's really obvious. I mean, you wouldn't behave like that if you didn't have any feelings for her, would you?
No, and I don't find. I mean, he's saying a lot to Mac, isn't he? He's saying, "Oh, there's nothing going on. If I wanted something to go on, it would have happened already. I don't want anything to happen with Neve. You need to trust me." He's saying all the words, but I'm not seeing any action.
No, I agree.
I don't think he's actually reassuring her at all. I didn't find what he said reassuring. If someone was saying that to me, I wouldn't have thought, "Oh, okay, fine. I'll let you get on with it."
And I don't think Mac believes it when she's saying it herself. There's been moments, there was a few scenes with like Dean and stuff, and she's like, "Oh, he's helping her out," and Dean's like, he's living in a motel room with his ex, and she's like, and she's like, "No, he's helping her, but you can tell she don't quite believe it herself. Do you know what I mean? I think I said one night during the week, like, why is Mac putting up with this crap?
Yeah, I know. Do you think she's still a bit insecure about what happened with Ari, and it's affected her more than we thought? And because she did say something to Dean about how it's taken a lot for her to let Logan in, and it's the first time she's let someone in since Ari broke her heart.
Yeah,
and
she did say that.
She's let her guard down, and now it's like, oh, here we go again.
Yeah.
Do you think she's still just feeling she's taken more than she would have taken before because she's still feeling a bit sore?
Probably. Do you think she probably feels torn? I reckon.
Yeah.
She probably thinks exactly what you've just said. Like, I'm feeling a bit. Here we go again. Can this happen? But then the other hand, she's got no reason to disbelieve Logan, and he's quite convincing when he tells her, "You've got nothing to worry about." She's really ill, and it's that whole mental health conversation that no one really wants to question because it's a bit uncomfortable.
Yeah.
You would never call someone out for lying about mental health, would you? Do you know what I mean? there's probably all that going on with her. She probably feels pulled in all directions, really.
Yeah, definitely. And I don't know. I just didn't find his actions met up with his words. He was saying a lot and not doing very much to reassure her or make her feel like she was important. Or
Yeah, I agree.
like he literally dropped her every time Neve ran off somewhere. He ran off with her, and I was like, that's not. Just not feeling it.
No, I agree. And Ryder says to Mac, "But he's supposed to not know anything about it," and she's like, "Oh, I've got a lot on my mind." And he's
Yeah.
like, a phone call could just fix it all. And he's like, "Well, make the phone call yourself."
Yeah.
Duh.
Yeah.
And she does. She picks up the phone, and you're like,
I know. And then she hangs up, doesn't she? She's bottled it. I wouldn't have bottled it. I'd have dumped her in.
If she'd have done it, can you imagine how this would have gone down? She'd have been carted off.
Yeah.
What would Logan's reaction been, do you reckon? Do you reckon he'd have been...
I think we would have known how he really felt about Neve then, wouldn't we?
Yeah.
And well, I don't think we really do know how he really feels about Neve at the moment. I don't think he does.
No, you're right. You said it last week, and I think you're spot on, Sophie. As always. You know, he doesn't know what... He doesn't know. He doesn't know what he thinks, and I think if he hadn't got involved with Mac, he would have been all over it.
Yeah.
So I think he's also being pulled in a few directions in his mind as well.
Yeah.
And I just love it. Was one of my favorite scenes of the week, even if it was heart-wrenching for Mac. But he goes back to the hotel and he's talking to her, and I don't know if I missed something during a commercial break or whether we had a scene that was cut, but basically Max says to him, either you phone them and tell them about it, or we're over.
Yeah.
And I can't do this anymore. And then he goes back to the motel room and reports that they've broken up.
Yes.
And I'm thinking,
yes. No, they didn't break up. What she said was, I'm giving you an ultimatum. You either dob her in or you've well, I don't know, we're over, I guess. But she never said she dumped him. And I think that was us seeing that he'd already made his decision. That by the time we got back to the hotel, he was like, well, I'm not going to call them, so I guess we're over. But I did think that was really sneaky, the way that he phrased it. Like,
I did. I thought, is he calling a bluff? Has he gone back to the motel and said, oh, she's ended it with me because of you, and we're not because you're not. I thought, is he calling a bluff? Do you know what I mean? Like, because I thought she definitely didn't end it with me. I rewound the episode because it was a commercial break, wasn't it? One of many commercial breaks on Bloody 5 Star. Do my head in, but I suppose it pays the bills. I rewound it because I thought that scene right before the ad break.
Yeah.
She did not say it's over. She said, either you need to call them and sort it out, or we're done. She never, and then she walked off like they do. They say, they declare something, don't they, and storm out the room.
Yeah, I'd love to do that.
It never happens in real life.
No, it doesn't.
So I thought they've not split up. What's he playing at here?
I think that was him saying he'd made his decision, because the decision was call it in or we're quits. And he's walked away and gone, well, I'm not calling it in, so I guess we're over. But the fact that he blamed it on Mac, I didn't like that. That made me feel
very uncomfortable.
Not happy with Logan, really.
No.
And I think that was kind of, I don't know what the word is, but manipulative. I think that was kind of manipulative of what's her name, Neve. And he must have seen that kiss coming. I mean, he came home and he was like, oh, it's over. And then he was changing his bloody Nelly plaster on his face to a new one, wasn't he? And then getting all cozy up with
looking
her.
at the lips and doing the whole TV kiss.
I know. And I wonder whether if Mac hadn't walked in at that moment and caught them, whether that was not what he was planning on doing. I don't know. I just found it really odd.
She's like, really?
Yeah.
Do you know what I loved? I'm just going to rewind a little bit, actually, because obviously Mac's sort of downloading to Dean, isn't she? And Dean just goes around there. I mean, Will Smith's not the only one this week. Like, because the reason this wound needs tending to is because Dean's right upped him earlier on.
Go Dean.
And obviously Mac comes in at the very moment that she decides to kiss him, and there's all, so we know there's all of this unresolved stuff, and Mac's just like, really? And I loved this was what I was saying. This is my favorite scene of the week, and because that was like scene end of episode, and we had to wait till the next day. And Mac was like, they're having it out in the hotel, aren't they? And Mac's like, what are you still doing here? So Neve leaves, naive. And she says, I called them.
Yeah.
And then Neve puts 2 and 2 together, gets 5, and does one outside the room. She doesn't realise, she doesn't hear the second part.
No.
And I thought that was really, really clever of the writers to do that.
Yeah.
Because then Neve's tearing around town hearing bombs and whatnot.
I know, in a children's playground.
I know. And
actually, having PTSD on the swings.
We shouldn't trivialize it. But
I know, but that's what they did.
I've coughed COVID. And what's actually happening between Logan and Mac in the motel room is completely different. They're actually hashing out. And I was watching them thinking, Mac, you plonker.
I know, because she totally bought it again, didn't she?
Yeah.
Oh, wasn't happy about that.
I wanted to shake her.
I know.
Thinking, what? Like,
well, she got shaken a bit later, didn't she? Onto a pool table.
Writhing around on the pool table.
Oh,
do you know, the last time I saw some action like that on a pool table, what you're laughing at? Jimmy Corkle and Bev on Brookie.
I wonder what you were going to say.
Table.
Oh my God, you're right.
Do you remember that?
I do. I think I blocked it out actually.
And then Cash, Super Cop. What's going on here?
Way to draw attention to yourself in front of the only copper in the bay.
She panics, does a runner, and then Logan, and then there's this whole thing with Logan again, like you say, dropping everything. Oh, where is she? I need to go and look for her. And then Matt was like, "Oh, I'll collect your things and check you out of the motel. Don't worry." And I was laughing. Was it tonight's episode? And she's like, "Where have you seen her? Have you found her?" And Max like, Logan goes, "Well, I've looked at the bus stop."
I've been to the hotel and I've been to the bus stop, and she's not there. So that means we can't find her. She's lost forever.
Like that's where you'd look for your 12-year-old when they've not come home on time for curfew.
Yeah.
And and then when she turns up again at the apartment and she went, "Where were you?" He was like, "Oh, I was at the bus stop."
He didn't look very well, did he? He didn't give it a man look. That's what it was.
Like I walked down the beach and went to the bus stop. I was like, you just look there. So. And then did you see that she comes back to the apartment? She's like, "You're right," and she goes straight into his arms and he embraces her. And then Mac looks on, and you just know Mac's like,
No. I'm just not. It's the double standards for me with Neve. So when Dean punched Logan, she was all over him, like, "Oh my God, you need to stay away from them. Stay away from them. He's punched you in the face," and she sent him over here to punch you in the face. And I was like, "Hang on a minute, love. You punched him in the face last week, actually." So you're in a glass house there. And also in tonight's episode, when she does call him back and she says, "Oh yeah, you're right, or, I need help," she says something to him like, "Do you remember when we were out in the army or wherever they were, and he said to her, 'I'll always be there for you.'" And I was thinking, yeah, but you're the one that ran away for 2 years.
Yeah.
So don't throw that in his face that, when you were together 3 or 4 years ago, he said to you he'll never leave you. But then you actually were the one that took off and went AWOL for 2 years.
I know, buggered off to Germany or something stupid.
Back in around Europe. He's not the one that left you, love. Oh,
I love that.
Yeah.
Do you know, how did she get back to Australia without being detected?
She said she got false papers, like I guess a false passport or something.
Oh my God, I'm literally we're hanging up Theo for joyriding the Polaris,
I know,
the clown car.
I know, yeah, it's awful, but
She needs shopping in. She does.
she does.
She
I
needs.
mean, she needs help, and that's the whole point, isn't it? Because tonight Logan's on the phone to his friend who's a military lawyer or something, talking about the situation, and
They've always got a contact.
I
haven't they?
know it's very handy, isn't it? My little phone book has not got anybody exciting.
No.
If I'm
I'd be
in
like-
trouble, I'm absolutely screwed.
Ringing your nana, like, what?
Now what do I do? You go to jail, love. Off you go. Oh my God. Yeah, but they said that she can get treatment straight away. So if she has got PTSD, she can get treatment if she hands herself in. That's the good news. But the bad news is that minimum 7 years in prison. So
7 seconds away.
oh, I know. I mean,
Just
7
as
years.
long as you stay in the army.
Love it.
Yeah, I was like, oh no. And he actually says to her, well, it's that or an entire lifetime
Yeah.
unwell on
Yeah.
the run.
And that's what she said, doesn't she? Said something like, I don't even know who I am anymore because I'm not in the army anymore. I'm not practice medicine anymore because, you know, I've got these fake papers. So, you know, I haven't got a job anymore. I'm not your girlfriend anymore. Who am I? And he's like, well, you can either be this, who am I, running away from everything, living in hostels for the rest of your life, or you can face up to what's happened, get some treatment and go to prison for 7 years. So it's not much of a choice, is it?
No.
But it's...
Well, what's this? What's going to happen here? Did you watch the promo?
I did. Yes.
Yeah. So obviously on the promo, and this is a bit of a spoiler. Jump forward 20 seconds, listeners, if you don't want to. But on the promo, I mean, we all watch it anyway. It looks like she's trying to do a moonlight flit again, isn't she?
Yeah, looks like
Rather
it.
than go away. And he it looks like right. What am I going to talk about? Logan. He's sort of forced. He doesn't want to do it, but he looks like he's going to be forced into shopping her in.
Yeah.
And in a way, it's going to end up being, from Mac's perspective, it probably, if that's what happens, which looks like it is.
Yeah.
It's good that she wasn't the one that did it because then she's not the bad guy.
Yeah, absolutely.
He might be able to save her relationship here.
Yeah.
Who knows?
I mean, he's admitted, hasn't he, that he can't help her. Like I think he said, "Oh, it was arrogant of me to think that I could treat her. PTSD is not my thing." And I was thinking, well, you've diagnosed half the bay with it.
I was crying, laughing at that. He was like, "PTSD is not my." In fact, I've recorded it, but the clip at the beginning of this episode, so we can relive it anytime you want.
Amazing.
He's PTSD is not my area. I'm thinking, well, you could have fooled me.
Yeah, with Marilyn and who else is he diagnosed with PTSD? Pretty much half the bay, I think. Dean and Marilyn. Yeah, and now Neve.
Soph and Sai.
Yeah, we've definitely got it. Definitely, I have. I'm basically a shut-in now. I've got agoraphobia, everything.
Oh dear.
Look what Home and Away's done to me. I'm a mess. Deary me.
It definitely needs a pre-viewing warning at 6 o'clock. Fun times. Now, Kaz,
Kaz and Josh.
Oh my gosh, it's been a long day.
It has.
Cash and Jazz have returned from the city.
They have.
Which they went through with. I mean,
yeah.
Why not? Because Cash must be sitting on some wonga renting a caravan with the job he has. I've said this before, haven't I?
Yeah. Doesn't seem to own anything either, does it? That caravan is bare. I think he's only got uniform, a pair of shorts and a t-shirt.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it got nothing. And so Jazz and Irene are all like, oh, I had a good time in the city.
Yeah. He loves me.
What was the set? Irene said something and I thought of you right away. What on earth did she say?
She said Blind Freddy.
No, she said something else.
Oh, I heard the Blind Freddy bit and I thought of you.
Blind, yeah, but she said something else that was a new one.
Oh, did she? Oh, I missed that then.
It was when Cash and Jazz came back from
Yeah.
the city and they were at the till.
Yeah, and she was
And
saying Cash said he loves me, and Irene was getting all happy. And Irene said something about I'm working double shifts in the diner.
yeah, and then she said something. What did she say? We need to look it up.
Oh,
Hang on
I
a
must have
minute.
missed that. I
I've
must
got
have missed
this
that.
What day was that? Off the top of your head. Yesterday.
Yesterday, so that would have been. Are you looking on my 5 or the other one?
I'm on my Sky Go here.
Oh, okay. So that would have been Thursday then on 5-star, would it?
Wait.
Is it?
Wait.
Was
for
that
it.
yesterday?
I know.
Oh, here it is.
Oh, I can hear it.
Put your best.
Oh yeah, bombs in a playground. Yeah.
Oh, do you know what I heard? It just said,
What are you doing, Megan?
and I was like, "What's he put on?"
I'll let you out.
Don't
Wrong
wanna watch
channel.
Don't put that out on the podcast.
And I said it back.
Right, wait.
Oh, I know. That's so sweet. I'm so happy for you. Thank you. It just feels so good. Oh. What are you doing,
Okay,
Megan?
no. Okay.
Hmm?
Okay, we've got this one.
Come back. Copies?
Yes, please.
I wasn't expecting you till tonight.
I know, but all good things must come to an end.
She said something.
Going
Sophie.
to work.
But we had the best time
Wait.
away.
Well, I want to hear all about it.
You're on your own.
Yeah. Well, with Marilyn and Lee are not here and poor old Chloe's in bits, I've been doing double shifts most days.
Ew, that
Diddums.
sucks.
Yeah, you ain't whistling Dixie, girl.
like a whistling Dixie.
What does that mean?
I told you.
I missed that.
I saw it and I was like, "Oh my god!" I'm surprised Soph's not messaged me about that.
didn't-
Like
Oh,
a whistling Dixie.
I didn't pick that up at all at the time. Right, we'll have to Google that in a minute. Find out what that means. What does it mean?
Should
Is
we
it
Google now?
like a blue ass fly type thing?
Probably.
You're like I've been rushed off my feet. Is it that?
Yeah, it will be, won't it?
Are you googling?
Like a whistling.
I love a bit of slang. They've got the best slang ever. You found it?
Engage in unrealistic, hopeful fantasizing. As in,
Oh.
if you think you can drive there in 2 hours, you're a whistling Dixie.
Okay. Wow. How am I going to fit this into daily life now?
Okay, I'm declaring myself as a whistling Dixie because there's a running joke in my family that I always say, like, if something's 10-minute walk away,
Oh yeah, around the
and
corner.
it never is.
It's around the
Yeah.
corner.
Yeah, it's like an hour later, they're all like,
It's just around the corner. Yeah.
yeah.
I always do that. It's up the road. Up the road.
Like,
2
on
hours
Google
up the road.
Maps, it's about an inch.
It's between here and Canada.
It's like, oh yeah, I've stayed in this place. It's right by the beach. So
I missed that.
yeah. Oh well, there you go. Well, you've had it now.
Yeah.
I don't know how I'm gonna have to trim that in the episode. Maybe we'll keep that in. Jazz will. I mean, we had 10 minutes of just wetting ourselves last week. Jazz is gushing, isn't she?
She
She's
is.
just gushing, and Irene
Oh,
randomly just says, girlie, if you're ready for him to move in, I'm okay with it.
Oh,
And I
know.
thought,
I
oh,
thought it was
Irene needs
so
the
cute.
extra rent here.
Oh yeah, she probably
Double shift ain't
yeah.
enough.
Yeah, that's her place as well. Does she even pay herself? Does she have a wage? I don't know. Deary me. Oh yeah.
So there's this really awful scene, and I'm gonna say something now.
Yeah. I
You
know
know
what
I
you
love.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love a Pierce scene with the lights on.
Oh, it's so lovely. Yeah.
Yeah, but this wasn't a good scene,
It
and
was
I think
horrible.
it was the performances. So yeah.
I just thought
I
it
know.
was so awkward.
I don't want to.
It was like, let's crack a beer open and we'll have a nice little sit down and a little bit of food, and then she just I mean, the way she said it was just like, "Oh, do you want to move in with me?" It was a bit quick, wasn't it? There was no chat around it. It was just a question. But then the way that he just bolted, like, "No thanks, that doesn't sound good for me. Bye." I was like,
Yeah,
"Okay,
that's
bye
not
then.
good.
Have a nice night."
I'll just eat my chips.
Yeah, it was so
But
weird.
his, and I don't want to be awful, but the way that was performed just was not good.
It was so cold. It was just, it made me just, I literally was like, you know, when you go to eat your dinner and then I've got my fork in front of my mouth and my mouth's open, but my food's not going in. I was like, huh?
It was like one of those where your toes curl and you're like,
Yeah, it was horrible.
and then obviously Jazz is like stunned by it, and and the next day she's got the running gear on.
Oh, yeah.
And
Again.
Flick's like, what's going on with you? Because he had a go at me last night on my way to the shower block.
Oh, yeah.
Uh,
He interrogated her, didn't he? Where are you going? What are you doing? I was like, whoa, you're not a cop right
Yeah.
now, Cash. Calm down.
She's like, I'm just going to the shower block with my Timotei.
See, now you know what Timotei is. Learn stuff off me.
And
You didn't know I knew Maori, did you? I'm losing it.
I am.
Oh,
I have literally just lost me right here.
like Mr. Potato Head.
My earphone, you numpty.
What you meant. Oh,
So and Flick's like, sort it out because I'm getting the stick.
yeah.
And then later on, when Flick's she's at work at Sol, which I think she really, really suits. Like Flick
yeah, but
at
has
Sol.
she still got a job after the tonight
It's a
one?
bit odd, isn't it? So,
Mm.
Mac's coming in a foul mood because she's now left all that drama going on that we've just been talking about at home.
Yeah.
And she's taking it out on Flick, and she basically,
And Flick's in a mood because she's having it in the neck from Cash.
yeah. And everyone's just in a mood.
I know.
And,
Ryder was in a mood with her the other day, wasn't he? Oh, God.
I did like Ryder and Flick's friendship working together, though.
It wasn't very friendly, but yeah.
No, but I thought they had quite a funny dynamic going on. Anyway,
Yeah.
go on.
I was going to say, it made me laugh when he said something like, well, when Mac's not here, I'm in charge. And she went, oh, I'm impressed.
Yeah. I loved it. It's so funny.
I was like, yeah, okay.
The scripts are so good, and there are so
They
many
are.
things hidden in the script that you just don't notice.
Yeah.
Well,
we do.
Yeah. Unfortunately. But yeah, no. So Jasmine says to her, she doesn't want to talk about it, and she's trying to be diplomatic, and Flick's, she's dragging it out of her.
Yeah.
What's going on?
Tell
And
me.
she's like, right, the problem is you.
Yeah.
And it's this whole Cash is,
Yeah.
his life is just basically centered around Flick. Do you believe his story?
No, not for a minute. No, he was
In which
using it as an
case,
excuse. Because you notice when obviously Jasmine tells Flick the truth, what does Flick do? Immediately says, Mac, I need a break, and off she goes and knocks on his van door, doesn't she? And thankfully he's not at work, he's at home.
Yeah.
And she says to him, stop using me as an excuse. And then she says something like, do you want to move in with her or not? And he doesn't say anything, does he? He just stands there. And it's like, oh, awkward.
Yeah. Yeah. And if that's the case and it's all bollocks, he just doesn't want to live with her.
Yeah.
Why not then? Like, what's the reason?
Well, I think
do you know what I mean?
That's what Jazz tried to ask him tonight, didn't she? But they just ended up, it was weird. They ended up making up, but then they had an argument in the diner, didn't they?
Did you see that weird scene on the beach outside the diner? And he goes, you're upset with me. And she's like, no, it didn't happen. I'm thinking, is she joking?
No, I don't think she was.
He was like, you're clearly upset. And I'm like, she doesn't look upset. She doesn't sound upset.
Yeah.
She sounds like she's being quite jovial about it. I just
Nah.
thought I just didn't know whether the acting was wrong,
Oh,
whether they
I took it as maybe it's me being a girl, but I took it as, oh no, when girls say they're fine, we're not fine. By the way, this is an announcement to the entire world. When we say we're fine, we're not fine. It means there's something very wrong, and we are not okay about it. So I think she was doing that, like, oh no, I didn't even invite you to move in with me. Let's just forget about it. That doesn't mean she's okay with it. That means I'm not okay with this. I'm actually really hurt that you don't want to live with me, and you can't tell me why, and you're making up excuses about your sister. No, she's not okay. She's not cool.
I agree with you, but I just don't know whether the way she played it, Sam Frost.
Yeah.
I don't know whether it worked. Is what I'm trying. I knew what I was supposed to understand.
Yeah. Yeah.
But for me, maybe it's the accent, maybe it's a cultural thing, like for example, if you said to me, if I said to you, if I'd upset you, Sophie, now,
Yeah.
and you, I mean, unspeakable, but and you said, and I said, are you all right? I'm sorry, you okay about that? And you said, I'm fine.
Yeah.
I would know you're not.
Yeah,
right.
It's the word "fine" as well.
Yeah,
in that context, if you say you're fine, most of the time you're not fine. Because
fine is not good.
No, because if you genuinely are okay, you go, yeah, I'm good. Yeah, it's all good, don't you? Or no, it's
don't worry about it. Yeah,
but fine. There's a little like underlying, something.
I don't know if it was the script or the performance. It didn't land right. It just landed really off center for me. Is it just me?
I don't know.
Clearly, you took it that way.
I took it the way, that I just said, like where I think she was pretending. I think she's hurt. I think genuinely she was like, no, it's fine. I think it was that. Yeah, it didn't happen. Let's forget about it. Let's move on. No, it's all good. But I don't think she really thinks that. I think she is. You would be, wouldn't you? Like if you just asked someone to move in with you, you just told someone you love them, you want them to move in with you. They've freaked out, said no, and ran away, and left you sitting there wondering what's going on. Then when you've asked them why, they've said, "Oh, it's because of my sister." And then their sister's gone, "Why? I'm fine. Don't put me as the reason why. Do you want to live with her or not?" And then he didn't even say anything. He just left.
No, he didn't even explain it, did he?
No.
So I actually think there's an element of truth to his reasoning in that he wants to be close to Flick. I mean, it's convenient that he's got Flick there so that he can keep things the way it is. Do you know what I mean?
I was thinking if I was Cash, I mean, we're taking the mick out of him for living in a caravan when he probably could afford to live somewhere else. But he's living on his own. Does he really want to move in and have Irene as a housemate and have to share a living room, share a bathroom?
That's what I mean. Yeah. Exactly. So his immediate sort of reflex reaction, his jerk reaction was, "Oh no, I'm independent cop Cash."
Yeah.
And it's convenient for him that Flick's a hot mess.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he's having to put her fires out all the time.
Yeah.
And I think that moment where Jasmine sort of says to him, "Well, is she right?"
Yeah.
And it doesn't explain it, does he? He doesn't.
No.
But you can sort of draw an inference from it all that, actually it's probably more of a problem for him. It's probably his problem more than Flick's.
Yeah.
He wants to keep an eye on her,
Yeah.
But Jasmine's right, I'm not asking you to leave the country,
I did think it was a bit of an over. I mean, they're not going to Marimbula, are they? Come on. How far away is Irene's house from the caravan park? It's not that far, is it?
Do you know what? You've just given me some homework to do. I'm sure back in the day there are maps of things like this out there somewhere.
I'm sure it's not that far.
Yeah, she's in the beach house, as they call it. So
it's
we're
walkable.
to assume she's got a nice sea view.
Yeah, it's definitely walkable to the caravan park.
Yeah, load of tosh. Load of tosh.
Yeah.
See how that goes, eh?
Yes.
And that's it for the stories this week. There's been a lot going on, so I think this is going to be a long episode.
I know, just looked at the time.
Yeah, but half an hour of that's us talking about COVID jabs.
That's true. Yeah.
Let's do the first look.
Oh yeah.
Okie dokie. Let's find out what we're going to be discussing next week on Coastal News. So, shall I date us again? Episode 7,737. As Logan this spell agonizes with his head. As Logan agonizes over what to do with Naive.
I know what to do. I know what you can do. Swivel.
Mackenzie confronts her to issue an ultimatum.
Oh, another one.
Lord.
What else is left? Oh, what?
Mac love, Jesus Christ.
What else is left to ultimate? Is that word? I have no idea.
It sounded good to me. At community service, Theo discusses his traumatic past.
Oh, I think this is going to be about his dad, because you remember the scene this week when after the court case, obviously Justin had took him shopping for a suit and he taught him how to tie a tie, and then he'd supported him through the court case and all this stuff, and Theo said something like, thank you for doing all this stuff for me, and Justin says, well, that's what families do. And Theo's face told me that his family wouldn't have done that. Like, that's not what his family
Well, we
would have
know,
done.
don't we? His dad's a bit of a tool because he was running away from him.
Yeah.
Right, he'd kicked him out or whatever, hadn't he? And that's why he ended up here. So, yeah. Or maybe he's doing community service and he's sweeping something up and he had a traumatic time sweeping something.
He could have a flashback. Maybe he's got PTSD.
Well, that'll be a full house.
Get a bingo card.
We're full circle to bingo. Ziggy and Dean, tired of Karen's meddling, look to dig up dirt on Brett in hopes of getting her to leave.
What is she meddling in?
Why would digging dirt up on Brett make her leave, though?
I don't know. What? Because she knows all the truth now, doesn't? Oh no, she doesn't know about the accident.
Well, that's Tuesdays. Oh, by the way, Home and Away did air on Tuesday. Don't know if you noticed.
I did watch it.
Big relief. Big sigh of relief.
Yeah, it wasn't called the bailiffs or whatever it was on your
time
telly.
to pay up. Yeah, what's she meddling in?
I don't know. What's left? Doesn't she know the truth about everything now? I don't know.
Maybe she's just trying to muscle in with Jai and...
Or Amber.
Even as Alf tries to mend the break with Ryder, he clings on to his grudge.
Oh, what? I thought we were over this.
We've just spent 20 minutes backing the guy up.
I've had a bloody gutful, Alf.
Oh, he's like a Whistling Dixie.
Oh, go to Marimbula, Alf. I'm getting fed up of you now.
Oh, I know. Yeah, he needs to go and get his wife.
Yeah.
Mia's insistence on the wedding causes rifts with Chloe and Bella.
What? I thought we were all... last time we saw them, they were all having a lovely dinner and talking about horrible wedding dresses. I thought we were okay.
Chloe even agreed to be a bridesmaid, flippantly. Chloe causes rifts between Chloe and Bella. I mean, okay.
Okay.
Let's see what happens. Karen reacts poorly to Dean's attempts to play matchmaker. Ari is rushed to hospital. So are we going to see him again?
Yeah. Uh-oh, it doesn't sound good.
Prison fight or something.
I was going to say, has he been shanked? Or is that the word?
I beg your pardon.
Malingo, cell block H and bad girls lingo.
Has he dropped the soap?
Yeah.
Has he been what?
Shanked. You know when
that better be on screen. Home and Away late night.
No, it's a bad thing. It's bad. It's when they make a weapon out of something, you know, because you obviously can't have a weapon in prison, but what they call a shank in prison. I don't know why I know this, by the way. I just watch a lot of these crime documentaries. They make a weapon out of something. So they might fashion together a razor blade in a toothbrush or a razor blade in a bar of soap.
Yeah.
And use it as a weapon. And if they stab you with it, it's called shanking.
Oh.
So he might have got shanked. That's what I'm thinking. Oh my God, I'm showing myself as a right lunatic now.
No. But, you know, there comes a time in your life where you just need a right good shanking.
Oh, you don't. It's not a good
I'm not sure I want to read out the next bit.
Oh, I want to know.
I'll read it. Do you want to know?
Yes.
Even after I've let you go on about shanking.
Oh, it's not shank. He hasn't been shanked.
This is big spoiler, this.
Oh, okay. Maybe we should tell people to skip forward.
Skip forward, people, if you don't want a spoiler. Ardy's, depending on what day it is, that's how you pronounce his name. Medical condition quickly declines into a possible death sentence.
Oh my God. Okay, they're killing him off then.
I'm not quite sure this is necessary, you know, such tragedy.
I thought, you know, because we know the spoiler. We know the spoiler about the actor leaving. I thought he was leaving and going to prison. Is he leaving, going to prison, and also dying?
I mean,
wow.
Double whammy. That's really pissed somebody off in the writing room.
Not only going to prison, but you're not going to come back from prison because you're going to die. That's quite final, isn't it?
Yeah, but not only that, is that really a nice thing to do to Mia? No. When she's just lost another baby.
Yeah.
She's lost baby daddy.
Yeah.
Ryder and Alf finally meet in the middle.
Oh my God, a week later.
And Dean continues to try and set Karen up with Brett.
No. They're already dating, aren't they? How is it set up?
I don't know. They're engaged. Why bring Karen back for some bollocks storyline?
Yeah.
I'm going to have to put... why bring Karen back for some rubbish storyline?
Some what storyline?
And finally, the culmination of Karen and Brett's reunion goes a little too far.
Ooh. Are they doing it on the pool table?
Beach sex. Ari makes a difficult decision.
Okay.
Mia watches her dreams crumble around her.
Oh dear.
Oh dear.
What will we get next week then? Wide-eyed or trying to cry?
Both of those are the same thing.
Oh no! Oh God!
Oh, I think we're going to have a lot to say next week.
Yeah.
Right, that is everything, ladies and gents, and all in between. Thank you for listening. It's been a good one this week. Lots going on, and it looks like next week we're in for some, aren't we?
Yeah.
Do not forget to like, subscribe, follow the podcast so you're notified of future episodes. And don't forget, if you want to get early access to these episodes ahead of anybody else, plus extra bonus episodes, you need to subscribe. And you can do so for 99p. Every week you'll have an extra episode that nobody else gets access to, which includes Sophie's Scoop. Mm-hmm. And we spend a lot of time on this, guys. So, and last week, the latest episode that's gone up is all about
Jodie Gordon
and her...
Oh, her tragic love life. Yeah, it's awful.
Tragic. Yeah, it's a really interesting one. I was very interested. And also, you'll hear all about me at bingo, not winning any money. So, all extremes. All the extremes. So you can subscribe from the link in the episode description below. 99 gets you an extra episode every week on top of this one, plus early access. And for everybody else, this is available on Saturday afternoons for you. We're also on social media, Twitter and Instagram at Coastal News Pod. Do you want to give your personal Twitter? Because you tweet as well along with the...
I do, yeah. So I'm Sophie Cheekbones and it's at Soph_Cheekbones.
And I'm at Espotty, but I'm always on the at Coastal News Pod, so don't worry.
You always retweeted me as well, aren't you?
Yeah. So find Soph through the podcast social media. Thank you so much for listening. We'll be back next week with more. Stay in touch. Bye-bye.
Have a good one.